It's really interesting because I don't think there's many experts out there. So you can't be an expert in this field right now, as much as people might like to sell themselves to be the expert. You can't be. I've been speaking to AI creatives, particularly for the last 3 weeks, and every single person uses a different tool, a different number of tools, takes a different amount of time, it costs a bit different money. So you can't be an expert in the recruitment of that field anymore. So actually what you need to do is you need to continuously educate yourself, test and learn, try and pick up those tools ourselves. I can't work with my content director about creating a 60-second video without him and I testing it and seeing what it really requires, and can we even get close to what our expectations are? No, not without 18 different tools. Okay, so that means that we have to invest. The kind of recruitment and talent strategy at the moment for me is very much education. I've got to continue to learn. I've got to learn from those people out there that are spending that time and energy ensuring that their jobs are still around so that I can see who we need to be recruiting for the future. And that's very different from what I've done in my past. The jobs in fashion that I've worked in is very structured. You have a buyer and you have a merchandiser. In the US, it's called a planner. And you have a designer, and they work in a 3-pronged triangle approach. And that still stands to this day. So I don't have to change the way I interview or what we do in an interview process, because it still works like that. But then if you go into the landscape of marketing, it can't, again, you're not going to work with somebody that did things a certain way 5 years ago, because that's changed. Human behavior's changed. The way that we market things has got to be different, because the people we're marketing to are very different. So a recruitment process can't be how we've always done a recruitment process. This is a big topic, but do we need CVs anymore? I think there's many roles, and I love when I do a recruitment piece without a CV involved. I have a conversation with somebody, and I know there's a couple of really interesting recruitment strategies in the UK particularly for the retail industry. So for people, sales assistants, so shop floor workers, why do they need to send a CV in? It's all about customer service. So actually people are trying new models of that. And I've looked in gamification of interview process before. I mean, I did that years ago. It's amazing. It just costs so much money. So actually, are those things going to become cheaper so we can invent them into our processes more and actually make sure that an interview process isn't you and I sat and you grilling me and asking me what my job is all about and how I do my job, because you're not going to get the best out of everybody. We've talked about neurodiversity. Some of the best people I work with would absolutely fail an interview. Never mind if you ask them to sit down and do a test, but if you got them on a task, a practical task, they'd fly. They'd do incredible. So I think recruiters and talent acquisition people and even HR hiring managers need to look up really what the recruitment process is and whether it's fit for purpose anymore. Can you mix it up? Can you do something completely different? Because I think you have to now.